Note says we are at stage 10, paragraph
Mm-hmm.
page 935. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And our last headword was Bay, Newark type of
Yeah.
lesson.
Yes.
Okay, so let's
Mm-hmm.
start with revision. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First question. When you go on holiday, what kind of scenery do you prefer? When you go on holiday, what kind of scenery do you prefer? When I
Mm-hmm.
go on
When I go
holiday,
on a
the
holiday,
kind of
the
scenery
kind of
I
scenery
prefer is
I prefer is mountain scenery.
very good. Do you think that admission to museums, art galleries, etc. ought to be free and that the government should pay to maintain such places? Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that admission to museums, art galleries, etc. ought to be free and that the government should pay for to maintain such places? Yes or no?
Oh, yes.
I think that
I think that
admissions to
admissions
museums,
to
art
museum,
galleries,
art gallery,
etc. ought to
etc.,
be free
ought to be
and
free,
that the
and
government
that the
should
government
pay to
should
maintain
pay to maintain
such places.
such places.
Very good. What was the old sign for a barber shop? What was the old sign for a barber shop? The old sign
The old
for a
sign
barber shop
for a barber shop
was a red
was a
and
red
white striped
and white
pole,
striped
which
pole
was hung
which was hung
outside.
outside.
Very good. What did the color red represent and why? What did the color red represent and why? The color red
The color red
represented blood.
representing red blood
Blood, because in
because
the old days,
in the old days
the barber,
the
apart
barber,
from cutting
apart
hair,
from cutting hair,
also used to
also
perform
used to perform
small surgical
small
operations.
surgical operations.
Very good. What do we use elastic bands for? What do we use elastic bands for? We use
We use
elastic bands
elastic
for
bands
wrapping round
for
things
wrapping round things
like banknotes,
like banknotes,
etc., in order
etc.,
to keep
in
them
order to
together.
keep them together.
Very good. What's the difference in structure between the verbs encourage and discourage? What's the difference in structure between the verbs encourage and discourage? The difference in
The difference
structure
in structure
between the verbs
between the verbs
encourage and
encourage
discourage
and
is that
discourage
we
is that
encourage
we
someone
encourage in
to do
someone
something,
to do something,
whereas we
whereas
discourage
we
someone
discourage someone
from doing something.
from doing something.
Where if a friend of yours said that they were thinking about traveling around the world alone for a year, would you encourage them to do it or discourage them from doing it? If a friend of yours said that they were thinking about traveling around the world alone for a year, would you
Mhm.
encourage them to do it or discourage them from doing it? If a friend of
If
mine
a friend of mine
said that
said
they
that
were thinking
they
about
were thinking about
traveling alone,
traveling alone,
traveling around the world
traveling around the world
alone for a year,
alone for a year,
I'd
I encourage them
to
to
do it.
do it.
Very good. Why should Callan Method students not feel discouraged when they make mistakes in the lesson? Why should Callan Method students not feel discouraged when they make mistakes in the lesson? Callan Method students
Current method
shouldn't
students
feel
shouldn't
discouraged
feel
when they
discouraged
make
when they
mistakes
make
in the
mistake
lesson
in the
because
lesson because
making mistakes
making
is
mistakes
a necessary part
a necessary
of
part
the learning process.
learning process.
One more. Callan
Uh,
Method
the
students
method students
shouldn't feel
shouldn't feel
discouraged when
discouraged
they make
when they
mistakes
make
in
mistakes
the lesson
in the
because
lessons because
making mistakes
making mistakes
is a
is
necessary
a
part
necessary
of
part
the learning
of the
process.
learning process.
The students learn
The student
from the
learned
teachers
from the teachers
constant correction
constant
of
correction
their mistakes.
of their mistakes.
Ragged, which do you think is the most graceful animal in the world? Which do you think is the most graceful animal in the world? I think
I think
the
the swan
is the most
is the
graceful
most
animal
graceful
in the
animal
world.
in the world.
Very good. What's the basic meaning of the word liberty? What's the basic meaning of the word liberty? The basic meaning
The basic
of the
meanings
word
of
liberty
the word
is the
liberty
freedom.
is the
of
freedom
an individual
of an
in
individual
society.
in society.
Where's the Statue of Liberty? Where's the Statue of Liberty? The Statue of
The Statue
Liberty
of
is
Liberty
at the
is
entrance
at the entrance
of New York Harbor.
of New York Harbor.
Describe it. Describe it, please. It's a huge statue
It's a huge
of
statue
a woman
of a
repres-
woman
representing
representation,
freedom,
representing freedom,
freedom which was given
which was
to
given
America
to
by
America
France.
by
In
France.
her right hand,
In her right
she
hand,
holds a
she
torch,
holds a torch,
etc.
etc.
Why do most people keep a torch and supply of candles in their home? Why do most people keep a torch and a supply of candles in their home? Most people
Most
keep a
people
torch
keep a
and a
torch
supply
and a
of
supply
candles
of
in their
candles
home
in their
in
home
case
in
there's a
case
failure
there is a failure
in their electricity
in their
supply.
in, in electricity supply.
Very good. Okay. Do you feel do you ever feel tempted to move to another country permanently? Do you ever feel tempted to move to another country permanently? Yes or no?
Oh, yes,
I sometimes
I
feel
sometimes
tempted
feel
to
tempted
move to
to move
another country
to another country
permanently.
permanently.
Very good. What's the classic way of tempting a donkey to move? What's a classic way of tempting a donkey to move? The classic way
The classic
of
way
tempting a
of
donkey
tempting a
to
donkey
move
to
is by
move
tying a
is
carrot
by tying a
on
carrot
a piece of string
on a piece of
to
string
the end of a
to the
stick
end of a
and
stick
hanging the carrot
and hanging the
a step
carrot
away
a step
from the
away
donkey's
from
nose
the donkey's nose
so that he is
so that
tempted
he is
to
tempted
move forward
to move
to
forward
eat it.
to eat it.
However,
However,
as the stick is
as the
fixed
stick is fixed
to the donkey,
to the
the
donkey,
carrot remains
the carrot
out
remains
of reach,
out of
and
reach,
so the donkey
and so the donkey
keeps walking.
keeps walking.
Reggie, when you visit a place of historic interest, do you prefer to be shown around by a guide? When
Hmm?
you visit a place of historic interest, do you prefer to be
Mhm.
shown around by a guide? Yes or no?
Oh, yes.
When I visit
When I
a
visit
place of
a place
historic interest,
of historic
I
interest,
prefer to
I
be shown
prefer
around
to be shown
by a
around
guide.
by a guide
Why? Why? Because
because I'm very interested in
in
history,
historic
history
places.
by places. Yeah,
Very good. Okay, next. What kind of work does an engineer do? What kind of work does an engineer do? The kind of work
the kind of
an
work
engineer
an
does
engineer
is
does
connected
is
with
connected
the building of
with the building
machines,
of machines,
houses, bridges,
houses,
ships,
bridges,
etc.
ships, etc.
Reggie, what kind of gift would you be most grateful to receive for your next birthday? What kind of gift would you be most grateful to receive for your next birthday? The kind of
Mhm.
gift
The kind of
I'd be
gift
most
I'd
grateful
be most
to
grateful
receive
to
for
receive
my next
for
birthday
my next
would
birthday
be a
would be a diamond ring.
ah very expensive. Okay, what does it mean when a parcel or document is marked urgent? What does it mean when a parcel or document is marked urgent? When a parcel
When a parcel
or document
or a
is
document
marked urgent,
is marked urgent,
it means that
it means
the
that
person
the
who's
parcel
sending it
would setting
wants
it
it to arrive
wants it to
or
arrive
be attended to
or be attended
as
to
soon as possible.
as soon as possible.
Very good. Okay, next. Do we sometimes hesitate before doing something? Why do we sometimes hesitate before doing something? We sometimes
We sometimes
hesitate
hesitate
before doing something
before doing something
because we are not
because
sure
we are not
what the
sure what
consequences
the
might
consequences
be.
might be.
Very good. Okay, do most cheap printers have trouble reproducing colors correctly? Do most cheap printers have trouble reproducing colors correctly? Yes. Most
Yes,
cheap
most
printers
cheap
have
printers
trouble.
have
Reproducing
trouble
colors
producing colors
correctly.
correctly.
Very good. Are you the type of person who squeezes a tube of toothpaste in the middle, or do you always squeeze
Mhm,
it at the end? Are you the
mhm,
type of person who squeezes a tube of toothpaste in the middle, or do you always squeeze it at the end? I'm the
mhm.
type of
I'm the
person
type of person
who squeezes
who
a
squeezes
tube of
a tube
toothpaste
of toothpaste at the end.
at the end. Very good. Do you think that eating with one's mouth open is a disgusting habit? Do you think that eating with one's mouth open is a disgusting habit? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
think
don't
that
think
eating
that
with
eating
one's mouth
with
open
one's mouth open
is a disgusting
is
habit.
a disgusting habit.
Very good. Next, what's this? What's this? It's the color
It's a
of your
color
shirt.
of your shirt.
What do we mean by a white collar worker? What do we mean by a white collar worker? By a white collar
By a
worker,
white collar
we
worker,
mean someone
we mean
who
someone
works
who
in
works
an office
in an
or
office
other
or
professional
other
environment.
professional environment.
Well, on what kind of occasions do we congratulate people? On what kind of occasions do we congratulate people? We congratulate
We
people
congratulate
when
people
they have won
when they
a
have
prize,
won a prize,
passed an exam,
passed an
got
exam,
married,
got married,
etc.
etc.
Well, on what kind of occasions do people speak solemnly? On what kind of occasions do people speak solemnly? The kind
The
of
kind of
occasions
occasions
people speak
people
solemnly
speak
are
solemnly
funerals, state
funerals,
ceremonies,
state ceremonies,
etc.
etc.
Very good. Which three substances do we need to make pastry? Which three substances do we need to make pastry? The three
The
substances
three
that
substances
we need
that we
to make
need
pastry
to make
are
pastry
flour,
are flour,
fat, and water.
fat, and water.
Very good. Why are harbors and ports often built in bays? Why are harbors and ports often built in bays? Harbors and ports
Harbors and
are
port
often built
are
in
often
bays
built in bays
because the sea
because
in a
the
bay
sea
is
in the
calmer
bay is
and
common.
it's usually
It's usually
less windy.
less windy.
Very good. And that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word.
Mhm.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. Repeat. Structure.
Structure,
Canvas.
canvas,
Waterproof.
waterproof,
Nylon.
nylon.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word structure is a noun. It is something that is built by putting parts together and usually
Mhm,
stand on its own. For example, towers, buildings, houses,
mhm,
tents, etc. Canvas is a noun. It is a strong, rough cloth that is used to make bags or tents. For example,
mm,
a tent is made of canvas. My
mhm,
bag is made of canvas.
mm,
Waterproof is an adjective. It means not allowing water to go through. For example,
mm,
a waterproof tent. Water cannot
mm,
enter that particular tent because it's waterproof.
mhm,
Nylon is a noun. It is the kind of material like the one used in ropes in other products similar to ropes.
mhm.
Let's practice. Describe a tent. Describe a tent, please. A tent
A
is a
tent
small structure
is a small
made
structure
of waterproof
made of
canvas
waterproof canvas
or nylon,
or nylon
supported on
to
poles,
support it on the pole
and is used
and is
for
used
sleeping in
for sleeping in
when we go camping.
when we go on camping.
Very good. Next, repeat despair.
Despair.
Very good. Okay, listen. Despair is a verb.
Oh.
It is the
Mhm,
synonym of the word hopeless. For
mhm,
example, I took the exam 3 times, but each time I
mhm,
failed. I despair in
mhm.
taking the exam because maybe I wouldn't pass again.
Oh.
Let's practice. Do you despair easily when things are not going well? Do you despair easily when things are not going well? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I don't
despair
think
easily
despair
when
easily
things are
when
not
things
going
are
well.
not going well.
Very good. Next, repeat vessel,
Vessel,
blood vessel.
blood vessel.
Very good. Okay, listen. Vessel and blood vessels are nouns. A
Mhm,
vessel is any kind of container for liquid, such as a cup,
mm,
a drum, a
Mhm.
bottle, etc. We
Mhm.
can also call a ship a vessel,
Mhm.
and the tubes that carry blood around the body are called blood vessels.
Mm.
Okay, let's practice. What is a vessel? What is a vessel? A vessel
Mhm. A
is any
vessel
kind
is any
of
kind
container for
of
liquid,
container for liquid,
such as a cup,
such as a cup,
a bottle, a
a
drum,
bottle, a
etc.
drum,
We
etc.
can also
We can
call
also
a ship,
call a ship,
a vessel,
a vessel,
and the tubes
and the tubes
that carry blood
that carry
round the
blood
body
round the
are
body
called blood vessels.
are called blood vessel.
Very good. Okay, next, let's have, okay, prejudice.
Prejudice.
Very good. Okay, listen, prejudice is a noun. It is
Mm,
an unfair feeling of dislike for someone or something. For example, he has a prejudice against fast food restaurant. He always tells me that fast food restaurant is not a good place to eat. Okay, let's practice. What
mm.
do we mean by prejudice? What do we mean by prejudice? By prejudice,
By
we mean
prejudice,
an
we mean
unreasonable
an
opinion
unreasonable
about
opinion
someone or
about
something
someone or something
which we form
which we form
without knowing
without
what the
knowing
person or
what the
thing
person or
is
things
actually like.
is actually like.
Very good. Next, repeat. Purple.
Purple.
Very good. Okay, listen. Purple is the color. If we mix the colors red and blue together, we get purple.
Mhm,
Okay, let's practice. Which color do we get if we mix the colors red and blue together? Which color do we get if we mix the colors red and blue together? If we
mhm.
mix
If we
the
mix
colors
the
red
colors
and blue
red
together,
and blue
we
together,
get purple.
we get purple.
Very good. Next, repeat. Monarchy.
Monarchy.
Monarch.
Monarch.
Republic.
Republic.
Very good. Okay, listen. When we say a monarch, it's a noun. A monarch is a person who rules a kingdom, such as a king or
Mm,
queen. So, king or queen, prince or monarch. For example, long
mm,
time ago, in some countries, a monarch ruled the country.
mm,
Monarchy is a noun. It is a form of government in which the head of state is a monarch, such as a king or a queen.
mm,
Republic is a noun. It is a country run by a government and not by a monarch. For
mhm,
example, the Republic of the Philippines, the People's Republic of China, etc.
mhm.
Let's practice. What's a monarch? What's a monarch? A monarch
A
is a
monarch
form of
is a
government
form of a
in
government
which the head of
in which
state
the head of
is a
state
monarch,
is a
such
monarch,
as a king
such as a king
or queen.
or queen.
What's a republic? What's a republic? A republic
A
is a
republic
country
is a
that is
country
run by
that
a
is
government
run by a government
elected by the people
elected by the people
and which does not have
and which does not have
a monarch.
a monarch.
Very good. Next, repeat. Tune.
Tomb.
We're gonna get listen. Tune is a noun. It is the
Mhm,
synonym of sound. For
mhm.
example, I heard the tune of Do Re Mi when I was a small child, and until now it stays in my head. I still know how to sing it. Okay, let's practice.
Mhm.
Do you find that the tunes to certain television commercials stay in your head for a long time? Do you find that the tunes to certain television commercials stays in your head for a long time? Yes or no?
Oh, no, no.
I don't
I
find
don't
that the
find
tunes
that the
to
tunes
certain
to
television
certain
commercials
television
stay
commercials
in my head
stay in my
for a
head
long time.
for a long time.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Okay.
Very good. So our reading is at stage 8,
Mhm.
paragraph page 643. Past head
43.
word was deserve. Okay, please start at head word frequent, frequent, and frequently at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Frequent, frequent, frequently.
Mhm.
What's the difference between the word